pirate legacy adventure that you can carry in the palm of your hand. That's right, we've got it right here from Button Shy Games, Wildtails. Howdy and welcome, I'm Mike, your board gaming every dude. This is Board Games for One. Let me just show you this new game from Button Shy, and they are known for making these, I think it's 18 card, or maybe it's 36 card, whatever. It's not very many cards at all, but making a large game with a minimal imprint, I guess you want to call it. All right, so what we've got here is a pirate game with these adorable little animal characters, which you'll mostly see in the pictures flashing over my voice. There you go. And what's cool is there are many characters. However, you have to unlock them because this is a legacy game. If you're not familiar with a legacy game, it was probably around before Pandemic Legacy, but that certainly is what made it big. Basically, it's a game where you make permanent changes to your game as you play. So in this case, you don't tear up any cards that I know of. You know, I haven't finished, so maybe. But you remove some abilities or you use permanent marker to mark like, oh, okay, I permanently have this thing. So it really is like leveling up and permanently changing your course. No two plays will be the same, but also with the legacy game, that usually means you only play through it once, unless you want to redo the whole thing. This game is a legacy game that at the end, you have a fully playable game. This is becoming more common. We saw this with the Initiative. We see it with Isla Nublar, the Legacy of Jurassic Park, or reverse of that, whatever. Something like that. And though most people don't continue playing after they finish the legacy because they're satisfied, I think that's a wonderful option to have, and I'm glad that they put it on here because some people do continue playing and they want the most out of their money. That's totally cool. I have not checked the price for Wildtails. This is a newer one. Button Shy games usually go like $12 to $15. Excellent price. So, what is it? How does it work? Well, we are pirates completing different missions, right? So our turn sequence is we have our two characters that we play as. So you can play this solo or two-player. If you're playing two-player, one person controls one character, the other person controls the other. If you're playing solo, you just control both characters. There are no changes. So on your turn, what you would do is you would first check for something called a crisis. So this is basically the event. So I'm starting my turn with Anna here. I've unlocked Anna, so I've marked it in with the permanent marker, and I'm ready to go. So I'm going to check for a crisis. And you do that by looking at what round you're on. I won't go into the details, but the round you're on matching a certain icon on your scenario or event cards. If they match, then there is some kind of crisis, and there's a little guide here that tells you what to do. It's something bad. Sometimes you don't have a crisis. You just check for it, and then you apply any results. So it's kind of fun. Then you take one action for your turn. There's some cool things you can do. What you have is you have missions up top here. We have two missions that we need to complete, and we also have a villain here. We can always try to attack this villain, but of course we need to be able to attack them enough to get rid of them, or we need to work toward completing a mission. To complete a mission, I need to get resources. I don't have anything. So, you can attack, you can complete missions, you can also gather resources, and you can use your special abilities. What else can you do? You can discard the active scene. Alright, so you have all this laid out. Objectives, enemy, and then of course you have your active scene. And you have options on there. So right now it looks like we have some options. We can train a crew to fight, we can pay some villagers to smuggle some items, or we can pick up stranded pirates, or pillage a munitions supply. We get to do any one of those things. And our goal is we need to gather some explosives, and we need to either get to, or I'd have to check the story. I forget what's happening at this part. Get to or find a hideout, and then attack the raiders. And that's how we win this scenario, is we complete two objectives, and then beat the final villain by attacking them. So let's start by gathering resources. I take one of these four options. I can, for free, I can train a crew to fight. To do that, I would just take my event card, I would turn it, and it actually has a resource. So I would put that under my character, and boom, now I have an item resource for free. That was my one action. That's awesome. However, let's pretend, just for example's sake, that I wanted more items. So the free one, training a crew to fight, I get one item. Cool. But I could pay villagers to smuggle, but that means I need coin. So let's say I had collected coin earlier, and I have a coin resource under here. I could be like, all right, I'm going to discard my coin, and that means I get to pay the villagers to smuggle, and I would get 2 items in a barrel. So I would put that under here, and the card can be turned to show which resources you got. And you continue down, each option becoming either different or better than the last. So that's one thing you do. You collect resources. What do you do with those resources? You complete missions. So she finished her turn. That's great, wonderful. Now we would go to the next character's turn. So Samuel's about to go. He would check for crisis. This game plays in 7 rounds. Don't worry, we're all in the same round here. He would check for crisis. After checking for crisis, he would take one of his actions. Let's say he collects some resources too. No big deal. Or if he just doesn't like this event that's showing, his action can be to discard that event. And we now have a new event that we have new options and new items to collect. He's going to finish his turn. It's going to go back to her. She has enough items to complete an objective. Awesome. In order to gather explosives, we need 3 coins and 1 set of items. All right, so what she'll do is we'll pretend that she has all those resources under here. She'll discard them. Boom. And she can start the explosives mission. She does this by placing it under her card. And you'll see that there are bars that match. It'll say level. The level on the objective will match a number on the character's card. So we're at level 1. Awesome. What that means is we have to complete this objective again in order to get to level 2. But each level that you get gives you new bonuses, right? For skill checks. Because what is a fun legacy combat style game without skill checks? So let's say you need to do something that requires a skill check. What do? Well, your character card has their special abilities. Every character is different. Anna here, she's got 5 for bravery. She's got 4 for like disguise or trickery or something like that. And 3 for the feather, which I just think of tickling. I know it's not tickling. It's like suaviness or something. It's something different. Okay, it's cool. Whatever. Anyway, you figure out which one. So she is strongest at being brave. That's awesome. So let's say that we needed to do a skill check in order to do something for this event. Let's say we wanted to free jailed crewmates. Well, that's going to require a bravery skill check of 6, we can see. All right, so she's already got 5. That's pretty cool. To do our skill check, what you do is you look at the next event, the one right underneath there. First thing you do is you check to see in the top, there are these things called curse icons. If they match, you automatically lose. Don't even worry about it. You just lose and you follow the loser's bad things that happen. It's no fun. You don't get items, it turns over. However, if they don't match, then you check your skill check, you look at the card underneath, and you can see that it has a 2, a number 2. So you add that number to your skill for this. So she has a skill of 7. Yay, we did it. We get the item. We passed the skill check. Super cool, super fun. That's basically how you play the game until you complete both objectives, and then you go into attacking the raiders. And it looks like to attack them, you need, what do we need? 5 stealth. Yes. So we would need to do the skill check to pass 5 stealth in order to attack them. A cool thing also is this story is delivered by app. So there is in the directions a little thing to scan, and it takes you to the app, and it tells you start at scenario 1, tells you how to set up, what cards you have, and you start the game. You don't play anything on the app. It's just narrative guide. So don't worry about it if you're like, I don't want to play a video game. It's just a narrative guide. And just like any good legacy game, you'll see this stop card, and there are all kinds of good secrets behind it that will unlock as we continue. So far, I've enjoyed the round that I've played, and I'm looking forward to playing it more. What do you think? Is this a game for you? Check it out. All right, for my next video that's coming, I've got a few options, and it just depends how things arrive. I've got a cool Kickstarter that's coming in, so if that comes in time, I will probably be working on that next. If not, I want to do a Bonnie and Clyde tutorial. I understand it's a little difficult to learn, so I want to help out with that. And also, I'm doing a board game buyer's guide for 2023. So all 3 of those coming up. The order, I'm not entirely sure yet, but stick with me. If you want to see those, subscribe. The most helpful thing is give that like. If you like this, just show that you like it. All right, I appreciate it. I love you all. I'll see you next time.